Alright guys, it's William and welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, this channel is all about programming, about app development, about game development, about incorporation of artificial intelligence, and you're watching a series of videos about the intro of iOS development. I already opened a completely new project for you. This will be a really exciting video because in later say mini-series or project videos, I'm going to use this technique a lot, which will be a customizable thing that you can draw on your iPhone. And not only iPhone, because it's using swiftUI, you can use that cross-platformly. And the most exciting part is that the amazing thing that you can draw based on a certain shape, and you can add a lot of customizable parts in your app, and that is just simply amazing. So if you want to customize some style, you want to customize in say certain widget component, you can do that. So without further ado, let's get started. This is a complete new project, and yeah, VStack. Let's use a VStack for that. So VStack is a vertical stack, so we got a multiple thing, and what I'm going to do is to let's embed this VStack in a container, and that container we have a ZStack. So I will just give you guys a background for that. Okay, so ZStack, and inside of ZStack we got a VStack, and you can just get this the whole background a certain color, and I got another channel, Learn Digital Arts, so I share my experience in learning digital arts, and yeah, so in that video I learned a new tip, is that if you like to draw, you can not only just have a blank or a white background, but rather you can have something, say a gray background, so you have a little bit contrast to work out. So we can just use in color and dots, adding a gray color to it, and then the whole background we have a gray. But remember, we got a safe area that restrict the places where we can reach out, and this is definitely not the case for this tutorial, is because we like the color to cover most part of the screen. So what I'm going to do is to ignore add a modifier here, right? So we can ignore safe area, and I think we'll just cover most of part of your phone. Right, so we get this background ready, and of course you can add some comment here, background. Okay, and once the background is ready, remember it's a ZStack, so it will be just the background, the most backed area, and then you are building something, building a VStack upon that background. And VStack, we can have multiple things. So we already learned that we can add a different shape to it. So for example, you can add say a circle, right? You can add a circle to it, and we got a circle. Since it's a VStack, so we can get a say a rectangle. We can do that. Say rectangle. Let's add a rectangle. Okay, I have terrible spelling, so I rely on autocomplete a lot. So yeah, so we got square, rectangle. Let's go through most used pre-made shape. So we got a circle, we got a rectangle. What about a ellipse? So I think I am going to just add it here, ellipse. Okay, and of course you can pass parameters here. I'm just using this defaults. If you want pass parameters, you can pass all the way you like. And rectangle, let's add a capsule to it. Capsule, right? And we can yeah, just adding a little bit modifier to side of the shape, right? And then you can add a say rectangle. Let me modify this rectangle, say rounded rectangle, and you can get a corner size, corner radius. I think it's called corner radius, right? And you can have a certain radius, so you got a much more rounded, I'll say 50.0. So you got a little bit rounded, and the most rounded will be the hair capsule, right? And of course you can add paths, but that's we define a lot of customers shape and polygon, for example, and line. We will talk about that later. Just for now, a quick demonstration of if you don't need to a lot of customization, you can just simply use that out of the box. And geometry render arc, geometry reader, we use that in my progress bar mini project. So if you're interested, you go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and search for mini project, and you can find it. This is just a simple intro series, so I'm not going to do the project complex setting, but rather just a quick demonstration. And by the way, so if you are interested in development, please subscribe. I'm currently right now unemployed, and I started this channel, try to change my career. I update video every day, and hopefully this channel can generate revenue, so I can put bread and milk on my table. So thank you so much for your support, and if you think my video is helpful, please give it a thumb up. Thank you. And let's go back. And remember, all this shape, you can treat it as a view, right? So essentially, just inside a V stack, we got a lot of views stacked together vertically, and every shape you can treat it as a view, and view can be modified. Okay, so for example, if you want to modify the circle and change the say the foreground color, so basically just change this color. So I can say foreground color, and yeah, just pass a certain color, and this is just a blue. Let me just stick with blue, and let me add all of the modifier to different different shape. So we can say red. Let me just use as many as possible, so we can say we got this brown, right, and rounded. Remember, you can add the front ground modifier as well, and let's use the green and capsule, or you can say indigo. Alright, so we got a lot of different color here, and it looks amazing. If you want to modify view, you can do that. If you want to modify shape, you can do that as well. Let's continue. So sorry, I just rewind that. This is a shape, not a view. But if you add this foreground color, it's just become a view. Okay, and then after that, you can modify that according to the view. For example, you can add frame padding, something like that. Okay, so sorry, and and then what I'm going to do is to add the outline to this shape. So just like you drawing the outline, and you're using paint bucket to paint the color. Okay. So it's commonly used by using stroke, so dot stroke, and then you can add inline width. So this would be a pretty small stroke, and what I'm going to do is to make it bigger. So maybe 20. That's definitely a really big stroke, right? So you can add this way, and remember, you need to add it here. If you add it down below, I think it will complain, give you an error, right? And I think okay, so value of type some view has no member stroke, so only the shape have a member of a stroke. So if you add this foreground color, you just become a view. A view do not have a member stroke. So yeah, so you have to move it up a bit. Okay, so yeah, and so you can use the same method to say you want like a ellipsis outline. You can do that. Okay, and if you like a rectangle outline, you can do that. If you like a rounded yeah, you can do that. Rounded rectangle capsule, you can do that. Just play around with. I think maybe just decrease that a bit, because we don't want too much of the overlap. All right, and right now it's all crammed together. And if you want to separate this, you can add a padding, so you can add say spacer, because you are essentially treating all that as a view, right? So we can add padding, right? You don't need to pass anything; you will just automatically done things for you, and that is amazing. Why am just to get it shrink now? Sorry, something wrong with my magic mouse. So yeah, let's add all this padding around all the shape. So the up and down will automatically handle all the paddings here. Make every shape sort of separated, give it a little bit space between, right? And yeah, that looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is to right now the color in between this stroke inside the stroke, in fact, it is not filled. So what I'm going to do is to fill this color. And here is a good tip for you. So if you like to fill in the color, we don't have that yeah, the inbuilt default settings in order to do that. So you have to think of a way. Let me grab my brush. And let me just grab my brush, and let's use screen brush for that. This is my game development, sorry. And by the way, I got a complete new tutorial for game development, so if you're interested, please subscribe. And yeah, so right now we only got the stroke here, and we got the foreground color of that stroke. So if it's red, the stroke will be red, and we can adjust the strokes line width. So if you got a line width of a certain thing, say 10, you got a line width of a 10. But what I'm going to do is to fill in this color, this area. You can, of course, you fill it red, or you fill it in, say, blue. You can fill whatever color that you like, but you can't just fill by adding modifier. swiftUI do not have it. So how to do that? What I'm going to do is to draw an identical circle behind it. So whatever shape that you are, I'm just going to add another shape that's underneath it, and treat it as a background. So you are going to cover that background using the stroke. So if you can't imagine that, just bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to show you guys how it is done. So the circle is here, and what I'm going to do is to add another background. So what I'm going to do is a dot background. Okay, so this will just give you a black background. We don't want that. We like a background to be the exactly shape of this circle. So what I'm going to do is to remember it's a circle. So I'm going to add a circle as a background. And since the circle's default color, remember the color is constantly changing here. So if you add a background, the background's the default color will be white. So we got a squared rectangle white behind. And if you got a circle, circle's default color is black, so it will just become black. And what about I like to fill with the color of say red, of blue? Of course, you're going to add a foreground modifier, just like you add that to the circle. So you're going to add it here, and this will be a filled circle. Okay, And of course, you can say this stroke. I don't want the stroke to be a blue. I don't want it to be a old-fashioned black. And inside, I'm going to fill with blue. You can do that. Okay. And of course, if you want to change the color, say whatever color that you want, say cyan. Okay. Let me just change the blueness of this circle. You can do that as well. So basically, it's it's just like a fine-tuning of a two overlapped image. So you could use the same method. So I'm going to just copy that, and ellipses. You can use exactly the same method to do that, but instead of using a circle, of course you can if you want to draw eye, you can do that. I intentionally do that this way, so I just want to say, just want to show you guys how versatile this is. So for example, you can make it a black, and you got this say a eye like that. You can absolutely do that. Okay, but if you want to fill that, you can just use exactly the same shape of ellipses here, and it will just fill automatically. Okay, so this is a tip, and in order for you guys to see it more clearly, I'm going to use a different color for that. So I'm going to use, say, red, so you guys can see it's different. Okay, and yeah, same old we can use like this. Sorry, let's just copy this method and place it here. We got rectangle and rectangle, and of course you can use different color. What about let's change that to brown, and change this brown to black, so just be a outline. Okay, and same old, not like that, same old background, same old green, same old black outline. Okay, and definitely not a rectangle, but rather a rounded rectangle. Okay, and of course you can have the corner radius to it. Of course, you can have a foreground color modifier of green. Okay, and the capsule, same old background. Just copy that, and of course you can use the combination of different shape. Okay, and you don't need the radius. I think I'm going to change it to rounded rectangles corner radius a bit. Maybe just change it to just 10, so you can see the difference. Okay, so maybe 10 is too small. Maybe 20, right? 20. Okay, and the capsule, change that to capsule. You don't need to pass in anything, so just paste it here, right? And remember, you can always have two ways of solving the problem. The first, of course, I already demonstrated for you, is to add a background. And so, for example, you got a stroke. So basically, this stroke is the circle with the stroke modifier, right? So the outline of this circle becomes a stroke, and the circle shape becomes stroke. Okay, and you add a background of exactly the same shape to this circle. But of course, you can always add a shape and then have a overlay of stroke. So yeah, let me show you guys how it is done. Okay, so let's use this circle as an example. So first, what I'm going to do is to have exactly the same color as the above, which will be cyan. Okay, so let me just get you guys a circle. Right, so we got a circle here, and then this circle will have the color of. Remember, if you want to add a color, you can add this foreground color, and that foreground color will be dot cyan. Okay, so we got a cyan circle, but this cyan circle do not have a the stroke around it. So what I'm going to do is to add an overlay to the circle. So what I'm going to do is to dot overlay, and inside this overlay I'm going to draw exactly the same shape of the circle. And right now this circle will cover most parts of the circle underneath it. So what I'm going to do is to modify this circle by stroke. So just two ways of doing things. And of course you can say line width of say 10. So if you look at these two methods, it's not the same size. So how is that? In order to solve this problem, we can use opacity to modify that, and so you guys can see more clearly. Let me just get rid of all this different shape. So just to give these two circle a lot of space here. As you guys can see, if you comment padding as well, I think it's almost identical shape. Okay, but I'm going to show you guys another thing that you might encounter, which will be because of the stroke, you can affect the size of the final circle. So let me just get the line width to a much more drastic of 50, and add a padding in between. Right, so add padding. So each of it will have a padding. Maybe 50 is too much, so maybe 40, and maybe a little bit smaller, 35. So what I'm trying to do is to really go to the fine-tuning detail of this shape. So for example, if you got this stroke, and you can add another modifier, because you are essentially modify this stroke. You can change opacity to see whether you have a cover this circle behind it. So I'm just going to 0.3, just to get it really transparent. And as you guys can see, if I decrease that to 0.2, 0.1, I think this will be more drastic. So as you guys can see, we cover half of the width here. So basically, this shape underneath it will just add the center part of the how to say that? That's radius. So let me just draw that. I don't know how to say that in English, because sorry about that. English is not my first language. So basically, the circle underneath it is like this, but the stroke, half a stroke is outside, half a stroke is inside. Okay, so this is a fine-tuning part that you can even control how much of the stroke will be inside of the circle and how much of the stroke will be outside the circle. And let me show you. So before you actually get the stroke, you can say inset by a certain number. So for example, I got this, let's get the width of 40, and then I can say 20. And as you guys can see, the stroke just to completely cover the circle, so just inside of this. So let me just draw it. So instead of cover just half of it, the stroke will be like this. Okay, so this will be our stroke. So it will be just the inside of this circle. Okay, And what if I like a outside of this circle completely? So I'm going to add a minus. So this will be a much bigger circle than the down below, even though you add padding. Okay, so if you got some sizing problems, you might need to consider whether you need to get insects or outset. Okay, so inside, if this is a minus inside, it will just draw completely outside of this circle. Okay, so just a little reminder, a little tip. And of course, the second method goes the same way. You can use the dot inset by say minus 40. You can see that if you want to get outside of this, you're minus 40, right? And then you can fine tuning that, or you can adjust that step by step. Okay, and then you can get the right sides. Okay, so it's just a little reminder that you can actually do that, especially if you don't want to cover the information inside of this the circle, because this circle just a placeholder. Sometimes you may use say people's image as a profile. So if you look at my YouTube's homepage, you can see that I upload my my drawing as a channel profile. Okay, so basically the drawings are something like this, but they clip it like this. Okay, so you clip it, and if you don't want to, if you user already got this circle, and you don't want to clip more of the information inside the circle, you can just use the method and say get it outside of this, like a crown, something like that. And by the way, as you guys can see, I'm really lacking subscribers. Please subscribe and give this video a thumb up. Okay, I really need that in order to make a living. Thank you so much for support, and I think that's all for this video. And I think in the next video I'm going to add something more interesting. So for example, so I will see you in the next video. Bye.